All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down something that can seem a little complicated, how you actually spend Bitcoin. We're going to walk through a simple online purchase from start to finish.
We're all used to the drill, right? You tap a card, you hand over cash, it's second nature. But when you're talking about digital money, like Bitcoin, the whole process can feel a bit abstract. So how does it really work? How do you go from clicking buy now to actually sending the money? Well, let's find out.
To make this super clear, we're not going to talk in hypotheticals. We're going to follow a really simple, real-world example. We'll track a single purchase made by a character we'll call Alice.
So, meet Alice. She's got some Bitcoin in a digital wallet on her phone, and she is ready to make her first purchase. Nothing crazy, just a premium podcast episode. A simple, everyday digital item. And here's where she's shopping. At Bob's online store. Bob's a pretty forward-thinking guy, so he's recently added a Bitcoin payment option, right there alongside the usual credit card buttons.
Okay, so Alice adds the podcast to her cart and heads to checkout. The store shows the price in dollars, but right next to it, it shows the live equivalent price in Bitcoin. Alice, of course, clicks the Bitcoin option.
And this is where things get really cool. A lot of people imagine you have to copy and paste these long, messy addresses where one wrong character could send your money into the void. But nope. Instead, the store generates a smart QR code that has everything needed for the payment built right in. Now, this is a key difference. That QR code isn't just a link to Bob's Bitcoin address. It's basically a full-fledged digital invoice, and it contains all the information Alice's wallet needs to get the payment right. The technical name for this is an invoice URI, but you can just think of it as a super-powered barcode. It packages the who, the how much, and the what for all into one single scannable image. So what's actually packed inside this code? When Alice's wallet scans it, it instantly pulls all the crucial info. It gets the Bitcoin address, that's where the money goes. It gets the exact amount, so no typos. It sees the label, Bob's store, so Alice knows who she's paying. And it even grabs a message, like a memo for the purchase. Everything is pre-filled, which means there's almost no way to mess it up. Because all that information is bundled up so neatly into that QR code, the actual process for Alice becomes incredibly simple. Really, it just boils down to 3 quick actions. Okay, so first, she just opens her Bitcoin wallet app and scans the code on the screen. Beep! Second, her wallet pops up with all the details it just read, the amount, the recipient, the memo, for her to give a quick final check. And third, she just taps send. That is it. The payment is authorized and on its way. So how fast is it? Well, Bob, the store owner, sees the transaction pop up on his end within just a few seconds. And to put that into perspective, that's about the same amount of time as a typical credit card authorization. So for Alice, the experience feels just as fast as any other online payment she's ever made. Now, this probably raises a pretty common question for a lot of people when they think about Bitcoin payments. To answer it, let's just take a quick peek under the hood. Right. If one Bitcoin is worth, say, tens of thousands of dollars, how on earth can Alice use it to buy a $10 podcast? I mean, you don't use a $1,000 bill to buy a coffee, right? The answer is all about how incredibly divisible Bitcoin is. See, the smallest unit of a Bitcoin is called a Satoshi. It's just like how a cent is the smallest unit of a dollar. It's what allows for these tiny fractional payments. And just how divisible is it? Well, a single Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million Satoshis. So when Alice buys her podcast, her wallet isn't sending a whole Bitcoin. It's sending the exact number of Satoshis required for that purchase. It's perfect for these kinds of small transactions. Okay, so let's zoom back out. What does this simple little purchase that Alice just made really show us about this payment method?
Here are the key takeaways. 1. The payment details get pre-filled by that smart QR code, which dramatically cuts down on user error. 2. The process is quick. We're talking as fast as a credit card. 3. The user gets a clear, readable description of exactly what they're paying for. And finally, because of Satoshis, the currency is actually really well suited for small, everyday payments, not just big investments.
And that brings us to our final thought. The process we just walked through with Alice is clean, it's fast, and it's secure. So the real question is a process this simple enough to one day change how we all think about paying for things online? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.